gamers, and welcome to one more board game show. In today's episode we have an openings, and this is an openings I've been waiting for a long time. So without further ado, let's find out what we will be opening. Alright, just gotta get ready for this one. Twilight Imperium, 4th edition. Okay, so I got the pre-order copy, which has this in it. This is the hardcover rulebook. It came with it. So let's have a quick look through this bad boy. So first up, you got a little bit of a history by Christian T. Peterson of all the different iterations of Twilight Imperium. Then you got your rules of play. Rules. And then you have a lore compendium. These are all just pretty pictures and all the lore, really. Got a bit of breakdown on all the different races you can play as. Blah blah blah. So yeah, that is the gorgeous hardcover rulebook that you get with the pre-order. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that they're going to be making this available to purchase on its own. So let's have a look at the inside of this beast. Okay, so first things first, we get our beautiful Fantasy Flight catalog, the 2017 Summer Edition. You know what we do with these? And it's gone. Okay, so first up we have a big punch here. Punch board thing. So inside we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 boards. Okay, so the quality of this is always going to be amazing. You always know Fantasy Flight Games quality is just ridiculously good. So they're pretty much the standard. So first up, look at that, they fall right out. First up, we've got a couple of the planets, and then we've got some race tokens. And I'll give you a couple of close-ups of some of the tokens and the planets and such in our component cam. We've got some more components. You've got Mechatol Rex there, one of your warps. More of the components there, where they pop out extremely easy. There should be no tear on any of the components. Same thing, planets and some more race components. More planets and race components there. More planets and race components. Some of our blank spaces. Some of our red bordered ones. Some warps. More into space, supernova, some asteroids. More components. Then we've got the big one, that's from one of the expansions out of 3rd edition, that's included. Lots of little ship tokens, ground force tokens. These have replaced the trade goods, I believe. And that's what I just mean by no ripping, that just fell straight out. We'll have a quick look at, that's on Northern. Artwork is exceptional. Okay, so we've got our tracker, we've got some more of those goods, some more ground and forces and some fighters, turn marker, and then we've got our actions. I believe one of them just fell down here. So let's pop out the actions and we'll have a closer look at those. Okay, so number 1, we've got leadership, which is the primary ability is gain 3 command tokens. spend any amount of influence to gain 1 command token for every 3 influence spent. And the secondary ability is spend any amount of influence to gain 1 command token for every 3 influence spent. Then we've got number 2, which is diplomacy. The primary ability is we get to choose 1 system other than the Mechatol Rex system that contains a planet you control. Each other player places a command token from his reinforcements in the chosen system, then ready each exhausted planet you control in that system. That's a good ability. Secondary ability, spend 1 token from your strategy pool to ready up to 2 exhausted planets. That could be extremely handy. Number 3 is politics. Primary ability, choose a player other than the speaker. That player gains the speaker token. Draw 2 cards and then look at the top card of the agenda deck. Place each card on top or bottom of the deck in any order. Secondary ability, spend 1 token from your strategy pool to draw 2 action cards. So that's how you get the speaker token in this version. Number 4, construction. Primary ability, place 1 PDS or 1 space dock on a planet you control. Place 1 PDS on a planet you control. Secondary ability, place 1 token from your strategy pool in any system. You may place either 1 space dock or PDS on your planet in control system. So that changes drastically from 3rd edition, how you built PDSs and space docks, and makes it so much more simpler. That's awesome. Number 5, trade. Primary ability, gain 3 trade goods, replenish commodities, choose any number of other players. Those players use the secondary abilities of this strategy card without spending a command token. And secondary ability, spend 1 token from your strategy pool to replenish commodities. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that commodities have replaced, I believe commodities are what you give other players now when trading and such. Number 6 is warfare. Remove 1 of your command tokens from the game board, then gain 1 command token. Redistribute any number of the command tokens on your command sheet. And then the secondary ability is spend 1 token. Spend 1 token from your strategy pool to use the production ability of 1 of your space docks in your home system. Then we've got number 7, technology. Primary ability, research 1 technology, spend 6 resources to research 1 technology. Secondary ability, spend 1 token from your strategy pool and 4 resources to resource 1 technology. And finally we've got number 8, which is Imperial, and the primary ability is immediately score 1 public objective if you fulfill this requirement, and gain 1 victory point if you control Mechatol Rex, otherwise draw 1 secret objective. And then secondary ability, spend 1 token from your strategy pool to draw 1 secret objective. So that's all about objectives, that one, I like it. Okay, so we've got our Learn to Pay book. So this is the exact same as what I just showed you before in the hardcover rulebook, but it's just the how to play. Then you've got the rules reference, which is also in that deluxe rulebook. So that's all your other rules that you may need to know. And then we have the law compendium, which was also in that deluxe rulebook. And that's just all your art and your backstories of all your races. Okay, so next up we have in a nice Ziploc bag. This is the new quick reference and location where you store all your command tokens and such when you're playing. So you've got your fleet, your strategy, your trade goods, and your tactics, and then you've got a quick reference of your turns on the sides here, and it can go on either side of the board, so that's extremely nice to have, a big upgrade from 3rd edition there. And you've got 1 in each colour, so you've got red, yellow, green, blue, purple, and black. Okay, so we've got races, we'll get to those bad boys. So we've got a Ziploc bag of 8 D10 dice here, just standard black D10 dice. And might I add, look at this insert, Fantasy Flight Games. Where did this come from? I don't think I've ever seen you guys do an insert like this before. It's fantastic, nice, hard, thick plastic. I mean, we're going to be screwed as soon as they've given us an expansion for this, which is inevitable, but very, very, very nice, guys. Okay, so we've got our ships here. So if you look at the component cam, we'll do a closer version of this. So let's get a whole heap of these out. So we've got our new War Suns. Actually, we'll get a different color because black's going to be hard for everyone to see. Let's go with the reds. Not the reds, because my board's red. Let's go with yellow. Okay, the quality of this is already outstanding over 3rd edition, and you don't have to chop anything out of sprues, spending 5 hours cutting your fingers up and all that. So first up we have the War Suns, which come in 2 parts, and you just pop them together. And they are absolutely gorgeous. That's fantastic. I'd love to try and find some way of painting these up and maybe putting them on stands and stuff. Just add that little bit extra to the game, I think. So that's your War Suns there. Then we've got, oh wow, what little things. So we've got our little troop flags here. Very similar and reminiscent of 3rd edition, but they actually do have a little bit more detail in them, and they're not, the plastic's a lot nicer. It's nowhere near as flimsy as 3rd edition's plastic was. Like, they don't look like it's going to bend with heat and stuff like that. I don't know if you've seen 3rd edition, the flags used to always bend over like that. So these ones are actually nice and sturdy. Then we've got our carrier here. It's again, the plastic is exceptional, and the detail on these is much better. Still not the most like detailed features ever, but they are very nice. Then we've got our space docks here, which has, and they're very similar to the original ones. I think they're a little bit smaller maybe than 3rd editions. We've got our fighters, which are very nice as well. Still, they got a little bit of detail on them, not a super lot, but enough to make them look decent. The PDSs now, they are a drastic upgrade from the 3rd edition. They look fantastic. Nice little amount of detail on those. Then we've got our cruiser ones, and they're very nice. A little detail on them, they look good. Then we've got our destroyers. Nice little, I like the shape they've made them, they look very good. Then we've got our super dreadnoughts. They're still the same shape and everything from 3rd edition, but again, plastic's much better, and they actually have a lot of nice detail and stuff on them. And then each race has their own little ship, which I'll only show the yellow here, but if you look on the component cam, you'll see I'll put up all 6 different ships here, and they're nice. They're very nice. Detail and everything's in them is exceptional. So that's the all your race components. Oh, and they make that gorgeous noise. Okay, so you've got green, purple, red, blue, black, and yellow, and those bad boys. And then under each one, we've got decks of cards. Now, I'm not going to go through what every single card is and read out every single card. I'll give you a quick glimpse here of the cards, and then I'll lay them out on the table, and I'll cut to a big shot of all of them. If you want to have a close look, you can pause it and have a read at the cards and all that kind of stuff. Cool, thank you. Okay, so first up, what do we got here? So here we have technology cards. So these are the blue technology cards, and they've got the new symbols, which is a new system. In the old one, you had to go off the chart and all that kind of stuff. In this one, if you lay it out, like for example, I think it works that this guy would require 3 previous green technologies to be it. This one would require 3 previous of that symbol's technologies to be out, the green technology, and then you can simply play that, and then it adds an additional one, so you can keep going like that, and the system is just much better. So we've got a whole heap of those guys there for the blues, and that's like your carrier 2, so you upgrade your carrier and stuff like that, which I'll show you where you place that in a second on the character sheets. So you get 25 different technologies there, and we've got some more. So we've got purple, people eater. We've got greens there, and then you've also got the greens. So they've also got the ship upgrades as well. So these are the ones with this back are the ship upgrades, and then your technologies have got the little tech symbol upgrade there. Green, and got some more here. Okay, so I will go to a close-up of the upgrades. We'll go to a close-up of the tech, and then a close-up of the ship upgrades. If you want to have a closer look, pause the video. So ready, 3, 2, 1, now. And we're back, and now let's have a look at the ship upgrades. 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Hope you enjoyed that. Alright, so next up we've got, let's have a look at this one. This looks like the planets. So we'll bring back the component cam here in a second, and let's have a look. We'll put Jord up there so you can get a closer look at some of the art on this. And we'll put a back over there of Mole Primer so you can have a look at that too. They look extremely nice. Let's have a click through while you're looking at the close-up on the component cam. Very, very nice artwork and all. Let's have a look over here. What do we got? These are the action cards. Now this deck is certainly a lot smaller than 3rd edition's. 3rd edition's action deck was ginormous. Okay, so first up, these ones on top. We've got some more action cards there. And we've got promissory cards. Promissory note cards, these are called. I'm not 100% sure what they do. Trade agreement, political secret. I believe these go to each race, because we've got a yellow here, a red, and a purple and such, and black. So each race would get a set of these. And I'm guessing they kind of work like trade agreements used to, but you can make a deal with your opponent to not attack you and such, and they'll get the benefits of this card, I'd say. And we're going to have a closer look. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. We've got 2 decks left. Let's have a look at this one here. So this is our gender cards, from what I can see, inside the back of the packet. So agenda cards and our objective cards. There are agenda cards. So this is all your laws and your politics and stuff like that. So you can make new rules for the game, etc. Again, I'll lay them out. You can have a closer look. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. And then we've got our objective cards, which there will be more of in here, I believe. So let's open this up before we go to have a look at those. So we've got race cards. So each race has 2 cards. And what do we got here? Trade policy, gate folding. Okay, so these are race-specific technologies, I believe. So I will put them up, and you can have a look at those. So 3, 2, 1. And we're back. And then we've got more objective cards. So we've got secret objective cards. These are your secret objectives. These are your stage 1 objectives and your stage 2 objectives. So again, I'm going to chuck them up. So these are the secret objectives. Okay, and finally, let's have a look at our races. Okie dokie. First up for the races, we have the Embers of Muat. Their flagship is the Inferno, and as an action, you can spend 1 token from your strategy pool to place 1 cruiser in the unit system. They start with the War Sun as well. And they've got abilities over here. So Starforge, action, spend 1 token from your strategy pool to place either 2 fighters or 1 destroyer from your reinforcements in a system that contains 1 or more of your War Suns. Then they've got Gashley Physiology. Your ships can move through supernovas, and they have 4 commodities. Then we've got the Nawala Collective. Their flagship is the Matriarch. During an invasion in this system, you may commit fighters to planets as if they were ground forces. After combat, return those units to space area. Then you've got Telepathic. At the end of the strategy phase, place a Nala 0 token on your strategy card. You are first in the initiative order. Foresight. After another player moves ships into a system that contains 1 or more of your ships, you may place 1 token from your strategy pool in an adjacent system that does not contain another player's ship. Move your ships from the active system into that system. And they've got 3 commodities. And then we've got the Djinn Brotherhood. So their flagship is the Van Hue. When this ship is destroyed, destroy all ships in that system. Bit of a self-destruct there. Their abilities here, Indoctrination. At the start of the ground combat, you may spend 2 influence to replace 1 of your opponent's participating infantry with 1 infantry of your reinforcements. And then they've got Devotion. After each space battle round, you may destroy 1 of your cruisers or destroy to produce 1 hit and assign it to 1 of your opponent's ships. And they have 2 commodities. Then we've got the Federation of Soul. They're humans. Their flagship is called the Genesis. At the end of the stasis phase, place 1 infantry from your reinforcements into this system's space area. Their abilities: orbital drop, action, spend 1 token from your strategy pool to place 2 infantry from your reinforcements on 1 planet you control. And then versatile, you may gain command tokens during the status phase, gain 1 additional command token, and they've got 4 commodities. Then we've got the Lisak Moonday. The Lisak Moonday. Their flagship is called the 001. During space combat, hits produced by this ship and by your dreadnoughts in this system must be assigned to non-fighter ships if able. Then their abilities: Simulate. When you gain control of a planet, replace each PDS and space dock that is on that planet with a matching unit from your reinforcements. And Harrow. After each round of ground combat, your ships in the active system may use their bombardment abilities against your opponent's ground forces on that planet. And they've got 2 commodities. Then we've got the Barony of Letnev, and their flagship is called the Arc Secundus. Another player's units in this system lose planetary shield. At the start of each space combat round, repair this ship. Their abilities: Mutinous Reserves. At the start of each round of space combat, you may spend 2 trade goods. You may re-roll any number of your dice during that combat round. And then Armada. The maximum number of non-fighter ships you can have in each system is equal to 2 more than the number of tokens in your fleet pool. And they've got 2 commodity. Then we're going to move on to the Lions, the Emirates of Hakan. Their ship is called the Wrath of Kinara. After you roll a die during a space combat in this system, you may spend 1 trade good to apply +1 to the result. Their abilities: the Masters of Trade. You do not have to spend a command token to resolve the secondary ability of the trade strategy action. Guild ships. You can negotiate transactions with players who are not your neighbour. And Arbiters. When you are negotiating a transaction action card, you can exchange as part of that transaction, and they've got 6 commodities, a whopping 6. Then we've got the Necro Virus, and their flagship is the Alistar. At the start of space combat, choose any number of ground forces in this system to participate in that combat if they were ships. Galactic Threat. You can vote on agendas once per agenda phase. After an agenda is revealed, you may predict aloud the outcome of that agenda. If your prediction is correct, gain 1 technology that is owned by a player who voted how you predicted. Technological Singularity. Once you're per combat, after one of your opponent's units is destroyed, you gain 1 technology that is owned by that player. Propagation. You cannot research technology. When you would research a technology, gain 3 command tokens instead. And they've got 3 command tokens. Commodities. The Widow. Their flagship is the Saleh Say Corian. When this unit makes a combat roll, it rolls a number of dice equal to the number of your opponent's non-fighter ships in this system. Blood Ties. You do not have to spend influence to remove the Custodian's token from Mechatol Rex. Reclamation. After you resolve a tactical action during which you gained control of Mechatol Rex, you may place 1 PDS and 1 space dock from your reinforcements on Mechatol Rex. And commodities of 3. Then we've got the Bugs, Sadak Neo. Their flagship is the Simran Law. Apply +1 to the results of each of your ship's combat rolls in this system. Then their ability is Unrelenting. Apply +1 to the result of each of your unit's combat rolls. And they've got 3 commodities. Then we've got the Ghost of Creus. Their flagship is Hill Colorus. This ship's system contains a Delta wormhole. During movement, this ship may move before or after your other ships. Then their abilities, Quantum Entanglement. You treat all systems that contain either an alpha or beta wormhole as adjacent to each other. Game effects cannot prevent you from using this ability. Slipstream. During your tactical actions, apply a +1 to the move value of each of your ships that start this movement in your home system or on a system that contains either an alpha or a beta wormhole. A Cruise Gate. When you create the game board, place the Cruise Gate tile 17 where your home system would normally be placed. The Cruise Gate system is not a home system, then place your home system tile 51 in the play area. And 4 commodities. Then we've got the Clan of Sar. Their flagship is the Son of Rag. It's got no abilities except, it's got anti-fighter barrage 6x4. Then we've got Scavenge. After you gain control of a planet, gain 1 trade good. Nomadic. You can score objectives even if you do not control the planet in your home system. Then we've got commodities of 3. Then we've got the Universities of Yolnar. Their ship is the JNS Hilarium. When making a combat roll for this ship, each result of a 9 or 10 before applying modifiers produces 2 additional hits. Then we've got abilities. Fragile. Apply a -1 result to each of your unit's combat rolls. Brilliant. When you spend a command token to resolve the secondary ability of the technology strategy card, you may resolve the primary ability instead. And Analytical. When you research a technology that is not unit upgrade technology, you may ignore 1 prerequisite. And 4 commodities. The Chacha Kingdom, however you pronounce that. Then their flagship is the Lonkara Sadu. You may use this unit's space cannon against ships that are in adjacent systems. And it's got a space cannon 5x3. Peace Accords. After you resolve the primary or secondary ability of the Diplomacy Strategy card, you may gain control of 1 planet other than Mechatol Rex that does not contain any units and is in a system that is adjacent to a planet you control. Quash. When an agenda is revealed, you may spend 1 token from your strategy pool to discard that agenda and reveal 1 agenda from the top of the deck. Player vote on this agenda instead. 4 commodities. Then we've got the plants, the Arboric, and their flagship is the Dwa Menimon. After you activate this system, you may produce up to 5 units in this system. Mitosis. Your space dock cannot produce infantry. At the start of the stasis phase, place 1 infantry you control reinforcement on any planet you control. 3 commodities. Then we've got the Golems. The Yisrael tribes. Their flagship is the Yisrael. This ship cannot move through systems that contain other player ships. Their abilities: Stealth Tactic, Action, discard 1 action card from your hand. Scheming, when you draw 1 or more action cards, draw 1 additional action card, then choose and discard 1 action card from your hand. Crafty, you can have any number of action cards in your hand. Game effects cannot prevent you from using this ability. Then we've got 3 commodities. Then we've got the Mentak Coalition, and their flagship is called the Fourth Moon. Other players' ships in this system cannot use sustained damage. Ambush. At the start of space combat, you may roll 1 die for each of up to 2 of your cruisers or destroyers in the system. For each result equal to or greater than that ship's combat value, produce 1 hit. Your opponent must assign it to one of your ships. And then we've got Pillage. After one of your neighbors gains trade goods or resolves a transaction, if it has 3 or more trade goods, you may take 1 of his trade goods or commodities. Then you've got 2 commodities, and that's them. So guys, that is what you get inside Twilight Imperium 4th edition. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you next time on one more board game show.